What if burying someone in the wrong place could bring them back from the dead? In this Indonesian horror movie, a young girl dies in a mysterious accident and is buried inside a cursed village. But soon after, something terrifying begins happening. Her grave is mysteriously disturbed. People start dying one after another, and the girl returns as something far more dangerous than a ghost. A deadly bloodline curse has been awakened, and now, the entire village is trapped in a nightmare that may not end until everyone pays the price. Today, we're diving into Call of the Dead, also known as A Call from the Grave, a terrifying Indonesian horror movie filled with curses, demons, revenge, and a shocking supernatural mystery. So, sit back, turn down the lights, and let's get straight into the story. The story begins with a woman named Alia, who gets up in the middle of the night to get some water from the fridge. Just then, she hears a strange sound, as if someone is digging right outside her house. She slowly starts walking outside, when suddenly, she catches a glimpse of a shrouded ghost, a pocong, a corpse wrapped in white cloth. Terrified, she runs toward the gate. The front door is open, and she can hear the voice of a little girl. The girl is calling out to her mother. "Mommy, I am here, Mommy." She keeps calling out again and again. Following the voice, Alia walks outside the house. There, she spots a grave and is shocked to see it. Trembling with fear, she climbs down into the grave and sees a casket, with someone seemingly trying to break out from inside. Fearfully, Alia reaches out and touches the casket. Suddenly, a hand shoots out from inside, grabs Alia, and pulls her in. She wakes up screaming. In reality, Alia is inside a car with her husband Raka and their 10-year-old daughter Jasmine. Raka calms her down and asks what happened. Alia tells him that she had a really bad dream. Raka reassures her, saying that she has been under too much stress from work and must be exhausted, so she should get some rest. Alia then takes her phone out of her bag and asks her boss for a few days off. Her boss reminds her that she was supposed to take the clients to see the model house. Alia tells him that she has already made all the arrangements. Tayaz, her junior colleague, will go with the clients instead. The boss agrees and approves Alia's leave. Meanwhile, their daughter Jasmine wakes up from her sleep, feeling quite tired from sitting in the car. She starts asking when they will reach Granny's house, revealing that they are actually heading to the village where Alia's mother Dewey lives. Raka tells Jasmine to go back to sleep, promising that they will reach Granny's house before she wakes up. Jasmine excitedly says that she is looking forward to introducing Miss Bun Bun to Granny. Actually, Miss Bun Bun is Jasmine's doll. By evening, they arrive at the village, which is called Panggupa Jiwa. Soon after, they reach Alia's mother's house and notice that it has gotten quite dark. They walk up to the gate, and Alia calls out to her mother. Jasmine calls out too, saying, "Granny, Granny." When nobody comes to open the door, they open it themselves and step inside. Jasmine feels quite scared because it is so dark inside. Alia tells Jasmine to stay with her father while she goes ahead to look for her mother Dewey. Trembling with unease, they make their way toward the living room. Dewey is sitting in a rocking chair, and the room is pitch dark. Suddenly, Alia turns on the lights, startling her mother. Dewey turns around and sees Alia standing there. They both apologize to each other. Dewey says, "Sorry, I had fallen asleep." She greets Jasmine as well, and then everyone warmly greets each other. Everyone sits down around the dining table. Dewey asks Alia about her work. Alia says that her work is going very well and that she is very happy with it. Raka also talks about his work, explaining that he is a contractor and only goes out when there is work. The rest of the time, he stays home and helps Alia with the household chores. Dewey then says that they must be very tired from the trip, so they should get some rest. She tells Alia that she has always kept her room clean, so the couple can sleep there while Jasmine will sleep with her. Inside their room, Raka sees childhood photos of Alia hanging on the walls and is very happy to see them. Alia then asks Raka, "Can we bring Mom to the city with us next year?" Raka gladly agrees, assuring her that he has no problem with it. The scene shifts to midnight while everyone is asleep when Dewey suddenly wakes up. She notices that Jasmine is not lying beside her. Dewey starts looking for Jasmine and finds her in the adjacent room. Dewey walks in and sees Jasmine talking to her doll, Miss Bun Bun, which seems quite eerie. The next morning, Dewey appears a little stressed in the kitchen. Alia walks in and wishes her mother Dewey good morning. Dewey tells her that she is making food for Jasmine and asks if Alia could pick up a few groceries for her. Alia replies, "Of course." Meanwhile, Raka wakes up and asks Alia about Jasmine. Alia tells him that Jasmine is still asleep and that she is heading to the market to get some groceries. So Raka decides to go with her. On the way, Alia spots a man named Basri, who is cleaning the graveyard. Basri handles all the funerals in the village. Alia stops the car and greets him. She chats with him briefly and then drives to the market, while Basri appears visibly uneasy. Back at the house, Dewey is setting the dining table. She hears Jasmine talking and playing with someone else. Dewey walks over to Jasmine and sees that she is playing with Miss Bun Bun again, so she leads her out of the room. The scene then shifts to the market, where we see the shop owned by Alia's childhood friend, Mawar. A 9-month pregnant woman has just arrived there to shop. Alia arrives and is overjoyed to see Mawar again. Mawar warmly greets Raka as well. Mawar introduces Alia and Raka to her young daughter, Nanny. They buy the groceries and catch up on old times. After returning home, everyone sits down to eat. Afterward, Alia and Dewey sit down alone to talk. Alia asks Dewey to move to Jakarta with them because she is worried about her. In response, Dewey insists that if anything ever happens to her, she only wants to be buried in this village. Alia asks, "Why are you making such a strange request?" Her mother tells her, "Please, this is my final wish." Alia agrees to discuss the matter later and walks away. Alia then takes her daughter Jasmine to her room and shows her a childhood photo album. Raka is lying in bed while Jasmine talks to him about how she and Mom will explore the forest tomorrow. She mentions that there is a pond there too. Raka pulls her close, and Jasmine falls asleep holding Miss Bun Bun beside her. The next morning, Jasmine gets ready early, bursting with excitement to explore the forest. After hugging Raka, Jasmine heads out with Alia. While Raka is cooking, Dewey comes over and compliments him. Raka asks Dewey to move in with them. Dewey says that she does not want to become a burden on them. Raka reassures Dewey that she will never be a burden. They would be very happy to have her live with them. However, for obvious reasons, Dewey prefers to stay in the village. Raka continues pleading with his mother-in-law to come with them. Dewey tells Raka that she will think about it, saying that she is going to get some rest for now. Meanwhile, we see Alia and Jasmine strolling through the forest. They are enjoying themselves and singing when suddenly Alia receives a call from her colleague, Tayez, regarding a work-related matter. Alia gets busy on the call, and in the meantime, Jasmine wanders away from her. Alia notices that Jasmine is nowhere in sight, so she starts calling out to her, but gets no response. She hangs up the call, starts searching for Jasmine, and screams her name, yet Jasmine is nowhere to be found. Alia reaches the edge of the pond and screams Jasmine's name at the top of her lungs. Jasmine is still nowhere to be seen, but then Alia spots Jasmine's doll at the water's edge. Alia pulls the doll out, and just a short distance away, Jasmine's body floats to the surface. Tragically, Jasmine has drowned. Alia dives into the water, pulls Jasmine out, and hysterically screams for help while weeping uncontrollably. However, nobody is around to hear her cries. When Dewey and Raka learn about what happened back at the house, they sit there in absolute grief. Alia sits right beside Jasmine's body while Basri prepares for the funeral. Dewey insists that they should hold the funeral soon. Raka breaks down in tears inside the car. He is completely shattered. Meanwhile, everyone gets ready for the funeral. Alia sits beside Jasmine, weeping bitterly and blaming herself entirely for what happened. Everyone is completely heartbroken. As Basri performs the funeral rites, he suddenly sees Jasmine looking toward him and smiling for a split second. Terrified by the vision, he quickly finishes the burial process. Jasmine is laid to rest in that very village, and Raka and Alia remain seated near her grave until morning. Raka says that they must leave the village that very day, and they both get up to leave. As Raka and Alya head toward Jakarta, they cross paths with Basri, who offers a prayer for Jasmine's peaceful rest. Meanwhile, Dewey sits alone in her home, remembering her mother's words, "When you die, you will be buried inside this village." Suddenly, Dewey hears a chilling sound, and right before her eyes, she sees a corpse wrapped in white cloth, a pokong. Paralyzed with terror, she starts praying and crying out, "May God forgive us." In the next scene, Basri arrives at the graveyard in the evening and sees the same corpse standing there. Comes right in front of him and glares directly at him. Basri whispers, "May God forgive us." He rushes over to Dewey to discuss the encounter, and Dewey tells him that the exact same thing happened to her. Together, they plan what to do next. The scene shifts back to Alya and Raka's home in the city, where they arrive and immediately break down in tears after seeing Jasmine's empty room. They then step outside. Right then, we see that the Miss Bun Bun doll is already sitting inside Jasmine's room. Raka is crying as he looks at Jasmine's photo, and he lashes out at Alya, screaming, "Was that phone call so important that you couldn't even look after your own daughter? You're completely selfish, and you don't even need to work anymore." He then storms off in a rage. The following morning, Alya leaves the house. Raka sits silently. After Alya leaves, he finds Miss Bun Bun. Alya visits her therapist and tells her about all the trauma they are going through. The therapist suggests that they both need to deal with their grief together and help each other heal, because neither of them is at fault. Most importantly, no one would ever want something like this to happen to their child. Taking her advice, Alya returns home to talk to Raka. An enraged Raka asks Alya why she brought Miss Bun Bun back when they had agreed to leave it at Jasmine's grave. A stunned Alya insists that she never brought it back and that she is seeing it here for the first time. Raka refuses to believe Alya. He thinks Alya brought the doll home herself, basically to mock him. Raka begins harboring genuine resentment toward his wife. The scene cuts back to Jasmine's grave, where the dirt has been disturbed, and Jasmine emerges as a demonic entity. Next, we see the pregnant woman from the grocery store experiencing severe labor pains as she prepares to give birth. Her husband rushes out to call the doctor, but just then, Jasmine arrives, now demonic, and tears open the woman's stomach, killing her. Something deeply sinister is terrorizing the village. The scene shifts to Alya standing in front of the bathroom sink at home, washing her face. As soon as Alya splashes water on her face, she is transported to the edge of the very pond where Jasmine died. From beneath the water, she hears Jasmine's voice, "Mom, please help me. Mom, please help me." Alya steps forward to rescue her, but suddenly, the demon drags her down into the water, and Alya bolts awake. She realizes that it was another horrific nightmare. You may remember that at the very beginning, Alya had a similar dream, and the girl's voice calling, "Mommy, help me," was actually a premonition of Jasmine's death. While Alya initially assumes it was merely a dream, she is shocked to find that her clothes are completely soaking wet. Alya frantically tells Raka that Jasmine's spirit is calling out to her. She believes that someone has trapped her and that she is not at peace. She insists that they must return to Pangupa Jiwa village to save Jasmine and help her. The very next morning, the couple sets out for the village. As they enter the village, they see a funeral procession passing by, which turns out to be for the pregnant woman. During the funeral, they spot Basri. They quickly run over to Jasmine's grave and see that it has been dug up, and Jasmine is completely missing. Alya rushes to her mother's house, demanding answers, but Dewey stops them and reveals the truth about a curse. And now, the movie finally reveals its biggest secret. She recounts an incident from her own childhood. This incident happened when Dewey was just 7 years old. She recalls how the angry villagers surrounded their house, shouting for her mother to come outside. All the villagers were threatening to burn them alive. The villagers believed that her mother was a dark shaman. In Indonesian movies, dark shamans are people who communicate with spirits or practice black magic. Because many people in the village were dying, all the villagers had come to kill Dewi's mother. Dewi's mother stepped outside and told everyone that she was not a dark shaman. If the villagers did not believe her, they could kill her. "But my bloodline will never end," She then cast a curse, saying that if anyone from her bloodline was ever buried inside this village, they would never truly die. They would return from the dead and take revenge on the villagers for her death. After casting the curse, she took her own life right in front of the villagers. That is when the movie finally reveals the truth behind why Jasmine came back to life, because she had been buried inside the village. Basri then reveals the dangerous way to correct this mistake. Essentially, Jasmine was taking revenge on the villagers for the death of her great-grandmother. Her body was possessed by a demon that was carrying the curse forward. Basri explains that Jasmine, who has now become a demon, must be found and buried outside the village boundaries. Only then can the villagers escape the curse. Her remains cannot be buried inside the village. They must be buried outside. Only then can the village be saved. Otherwise, nobody will survive. This was the curse laid down by Jasmine's great-grandmother, Dua's mother. The group then sets out to find Jasmine, while Alia is told to stay home. Jasmine, meanwhile, goes after the villagers, eventually arriving at the house of Alia's friend Mawar and her daughter Nanny. Nanny is sitting quietly on the bed, hiding under a blanket, which, honestly, makes the whole scene even more terrifying. Mawar asks her, "What's wrong, sweetie?" The figure gestures for her to stay quiet. When Mawar steps closer and asks again, it points toward the space underneath the bed. Mawar slowly bends down to look under the bed and sees Nanny hiding underneath it. Terrified, Mawar starts to panic. Nanny whispers to Mawar, "Mom, Satan is up there." Mawar becomes horrified, and the moment she looks up, Jasmine grabs her by the neck and strangles her to death. Right after that, she kills Nanny as well. Back at home, Alia is praying to God when she suddenly hears Jasmine's voice. "Mommy, Mommy." Drawn toward the voice, Alia starts following it. She spots Miss Bun Bun, picks it up, and walks out of the house. She reaches Jasmine's grave and hears someone calling for help from inside the casket, just like in her dream. Deep in her heart, Alia calls out to her daughter Jasmine, "I'm here, sweetie. Where are you?" "Mommy is here." Suddenly, a powerful wind starts blowing, sending her hair flying. Alia opens her eyes and looks behind her. Her daughter Jasmine is standing there, and Alia becomes overjoyed to see her. As Alia steps forward to reach her, the demonic Jasmine suddenly emerges from the casket behind her and begins strangling her. Alia chokes out, "Jasmine, baby, I am your mother." However, this is no longer Jasmine. She has become a demonic entity, ready to kill her own mother. As demonic Jasmine continues strangling Alia, the Miss Bun Bun doll slips from Alia's hand and hits the ground. Jasmine suddenly stops when she sees it and stares down at Miss Bun Bun. Just then, Raka arrives at the scene. He rushes toward Alia to save her. But Jasmine grabs both Raka and Alia by the throat at the same time and lifts them into the air. You can see just how deeply connected Jasmine was to her doll. Even in this demonic state, she still remembers that it belongs to her. Just then, Basri and Dewey arrive as well. Basri begins reciting prayers in front of Jasmine, performing an exorcism. Weakened by the holy verses, Jasmine disappears, and both Raka and Alia fall back to the ground. A crying Alia tries to run toward Jasmine's grave, but Raka holds her back and pulls her to safety. Just then, Jasmine suddenly attacks Basri and knocks him down. Basri immediately places his hand on Jasmine's forehead, calls upon God, and begins praying. The prayers cause Jasmine to collapse unconscious. Basri gets back on his feet, but Jasmine quickly regains consciousness and lunges at him again. Basri firmly places his hand on her forehead once more, loudly reciting verses from the Quran and calling upon Allah. Suddenly, dark smoke starts pouring from Jasmine's head. The demon and the curse have finally been driven out. Jasmine collapses unconscious, and everyone is safe. Obviously, Jasmine had already died. It was only the demonic curse that had reanimated her body, and it had done so solely to take revenge on the villagers. As soon as the curse ends and the demon is expelled, Jasmine finally passes away for good. Her soul can finally rest in peace. Afterward, everyone gathers to give Jasmine a proper funeral once again. this time burying her outside the village boundaries. Raka and Alya place Miss Bun Bun on their daughter's grave, leaving behind the possession she cherished the most. It makes the moment deeply emotional and heartbreaking. After this, Raka and Alya leave the village, knowing that their daughter's soul is finally at peace. And boom, with that, the movie comes to an end. So friends, that was the story of the film Call of the Dead, or A Call from the Grave. I hope you enjoyed the movie and its concept. By now, you must have understood what actually happened with the curse in this movie. But why did this tragedy happen specifically to Jasmine? Well, because of the curse, there must have been a demon that lured Jasmine toward the lake and caused her death. And her family unknowingly buried her within the village grounds. Dewey was very young when her mother died. She only remembered fragments of what had happened, and she never knew whether the curse would actually come true. But the curse was real, and it returned through Jasmine herself. Although everything was resolved in the end, these losses would leave scars that would remain with them for the rest of their lives. I felt especially terrible for 4 people. First of all, Jasmine herself, then Mawar and her daughter Nanny, along with the pregnant woman who died. These 4 people lost their lives for no reason. I feel this was Jasmine's tragic fate because, according to the curse, this was bound to happen. Anyone from her bloodline who was buried there would return in demonic form and take revenge. I hope you understood the concept of the movie and enjoyed the story. If you liked it, please drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more interesting videos. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe.